incredible video footage has emerged of what appears to be a lone Ukrainian tank destroying several Russian armored vehicles less than 50 miles from Kyiv. The footage, collected by a drone and published by a Ukrainian volunteer unit on Telegram, shows what appears to be a single well-positioned Ukrainian T-64 tank ambushing a convoy of Russian BTR-82A armored vehicles on a road in Novobessan, west of the capital. Thanks to brilliant positioning, the tank was able to fire several rounds at the invaders' convoy, threading the gap between other structures from a concealed location behind a house. One BTR was quickly set ablaze in the attack, prompting the remaining armored vehicles to fire back, seemingly aiming at other targets off camera as yellow flashes of fire were seen streaking across the fields surrounding the road. But the T-64 appeared unsighted and continued to pound the convoy with shells as it outsmarted the Russian troops until further artillery reinforcements arrived. The second half of the video cuts to later footage of Ukrainian artillery strikes raining down on the convoy as it attempts to flee, before zooming in on the wreckage of the Russian tank still on fire alongside several corpses. The date of the ambush was not given, but it is thought to have taken place last week, given that the majority of Russian forces retreated from towns and villages around Kyiv late last week and over the weekend. Geolocation shows the ambush took place along the H07 highway which runs through Novobessan, connecting Kyiv with the western cities of Sumy and Kharkiv. Meanwhile, images published on April 1 showed Ukrainian soldiers inspecting a series of burnt-out Russian tanks and BTRs in Novobessan, which may well have been the remnants of the effective ambush. The Ukrainian tank managed to operate incredibly effectively against the Russian armor, despite the considerable discrepancy in their technology. The T-64 is a Soviet-era machine, first deployed as early as the 1960s, and Ukraine inherited thousands of the vehicles when the Soviet Union collapsed. Armored vehicle technology has since moved on massively. The Russian BTRs that were destroyed in the clip only entered service a decade ago, but Ukraine still relies heavily on the aging tanks as the bulk of its military might. Images published in January less than a month prior to the Russian invasion showed scores of T-64 tanks left out in the snow, waiting to be retrofitted with upgraded armor and weapons at a tank repair plant in Kharkiv. The footage of the daring ambush emerged as Ukrainian authorities claim Russia's death toll in the war is nearing 20,000. Ukraine's armed forces are continuing to push back invading Kremlin troops and retake key terrain around the capital and other eastern cities, while Putin's forces retreat to refocus their efforts on the Donbas. In an intelligence update posted yesterday, Britain's MOD said that due to the scale of the damage, many of Russian units are likely to require significant re-equipping and refurbishment before being available to redeploy for operations in eastern Ukraine. However, Russian forces are continuing to conduct brutal bombing campaigns in cities like Mariupol where the civilian death toll has risen to 5,000. Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said that even though Ukraine is taking back the capital, he urged civilians not to return for at least another week, with explosives left around the city, and described the situation in east of Ukraine as critical. Elsewhere, Ukraine's general staff said Russia has again used banned cluster munitions in Mykolaiv, targeting civilian buildings including a children's hospital in a horrific attack which has killed 11 and wounded 61.